Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments every Friday, Lord willing, 3 o'clock Central Time. We'll come to you through Ministry Moments YouTube. And if you'll go on there and subscribe, this way you'll get it just regular screen. You won't miss any of the broadcasts. And then you could go to solvechurchproblems.com and subscribe there. And that, along with a lot of other material, will be a help to you, be a blessing to you. And you can subscribe. That way you'll get the daily ministry ideas and quotes and different things that we have there. Okay. Well, this is it. Ministry Moments, YouTube. Get your pen out, jot some things down. Ministry today, I'm going to talk to you about ministry adjustments. Ministry adjustments. One of the points I'm going to give you today is one Brother House gave me in a meeting one time. I was talking about some things that I wanted to do, and he mentioned it. And so you'll recognize it when I get there. But he said, don't jerk the wheel. Turn slowly. Don't jerk the wheel, and wait a little bit before you decide to make any adjustments. Okay, that's good advice, wasn't it? All right, here we go. Number one, we're talking about ministry adjustments now. Adjustments in the ministry. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. Sometimes the driving crowd will be down. Well, you're gonna have to focus your spring campaign or fall campaign on that to get the driving crowd up. Sometimes the bus ministry is down, but you want it up. Well, you're going to have to make adjustments in order to put into it what needs to be done in order to get the bus rider up. And you don't ever go backwards. You want to go forward. And you're going to have to figure out how to solve problems that come your way. But you can. You've got a good team. You've got good people around you, and you need to use those men and women that God's given you. I'll tell you something I learned. This has nothing to do with this right here, mostly. But I found out that ladies, I know Brother House got criticized because he had a bunch of ladies around him, but the truth is ladies mother what they do. Oh, absolutely. You take a guy, he's out there at 4 o'clock, he's on his way home. But you take a lady, I mean, some of our ladies would be working up till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and hard working, but they mother. I'd rather have a staff lady than a man any day, to be honest with you, except for maintenance man. I'd want that first. But these ladies have a way of mothering the ministry and making it count and getting the most out of it. And I've always admired that at First Baptist Church of Hammond and other ministries, Dr. Lee Robertson ministry, and ours also. All right, ministry adjustments. Here we go. Time to quit chasing rabbits and get to the point. Number one, know the difference between change and improvement. Know the difference between change and improvement. If you're going to make adjustment, ministry adjustments, you're going to have to know the difference between change and improvement. You say, well, what are they? I'm about to tell you. Number two, change comes by doing nothing. Change comes by doing nothing. It's the law of thermodynamics. Well, everything deteriorates if left alone. Leave it alone, and it's going to deteriorate on you. So change comes by doing nothing. You cannot just go year after year after year without making adjustments. You can't do it. You have to do it, because if you leave it alone, the bus ministry will die, the choir will die, whatever, ushers, needing ushers, PA, whatever it might be, Sunday school teachers. I told Brother Duckett, who's junior, who's in heaven now, I said, Brother Duckett, you've got to enlist somebody new every week. Every week. We had a 70 voice choir. Every week you've got to do it. And same way with whatever it might be, the bus ministry, head usher, the PA man. You've got to be training people, enlisting people all the time, every week of the world. Otherwise, there'll be no choir. There'll be no Sunday school. There'll be no ushers. There'll be no bus drivers. There'll be no bus captains. So number one, know the difference between change and improvement. We're talking about ministry adjustments now. Number two, change comes from doing nothing. The law of thermodynamics, leave it alone, and it will deteriorate on its own. Number three, improvement comes on purpose. Improvement comes on purpose. Every year, the numbers will be different in different areas. And sometimes the driving crowd was doing great. And we were kind of lagging behind in the bus ministry. Well, I had to do some type of a spring program, fall campaign, something to put an emphasis back on the buses, and getting new bus captains, getting new bus drivers, and a constant battle all the time, and having meetings with them, CDL meetings, and safety meetings, and all of that. But you need to understand improvement comes on purpose. If you see that there's an area that needs improvement, it's going to, if it happens, it's going to be because you recognize it and you say, here's how we're going to handle it. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how we're going to attack it. And it comes on purpose. Churches that grow don't grow on their own. They grow because there's the power of the Holy Spirit. There's soul winning going on. There's Sunday school, new Sunday school classes being started. A lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts, but it's on purpose that things happen. So number one, know the difference between change and improvement. All right. Number two, change comes by doing nothing. Leave it alone. It'll die on its own. Number three, improvement comes on purpose. Number four, I've always, throughout the years, taught this. There are 3 vetoes, 3 things you've got to be concerned about. You've got to be on top side of these 3 things, or you'll not be able to improve or make the right kind of adjustment. Here they are: finances, faculty, facilities. Let me say it again: finances, faculty, facilities. So those 3 things, you've got to keep you need to have a stewardship month every January. Don't think, well, the offerings are good, we don't have to. No, you got new people coming in, you got backsliding going on, you got to have to cover stewardship month. All right. So finances, you got to have the faculty. Yeah, somebody said, well, it's 50 bus and 50 drive-in. No. Can you handle them? Do you have the facilities and the faculty? If you don't, it has nothing to do with 50-50. It has to do, can you handle them? Can you take care of them? Can you teach them? Is it organized well enough for people to learn? You can't, a Sunday school teacher can't teach 100 kids. You just can't do it. It's impossible. Jesus taught 12, turned the world right side up with 11 of them. You can't do it. If Jesus had 12 and 11 of them made it and 1 didn't, then I would suggest to you, you've got to keep your Sunday school classes small. You got to keep your bus route small. Don't get mad because they're not running 100 every week. You'll have total chaos if that happens. Divide the bus, divide it up. The A bus routes in Hammond back in the early 70s averaged about 20, 25 apiece. There were Jojo Moffett, Roy Moffett. They were nuts anyway, still nuts. But they'd run 75 and 100, but the average was way down to 20, 25. Same thing with the 800 Sunday school classes we had in the early 70s. 800 Sunday school classes running 20 to 25. There was a reason for that, a purpose for that. We had 4 children when we were in Hammond. Every one of those kids received a visit from their Sunday school teacher every Saturday. Try that on. I bet your church isn't doing that with your 20 teachers. You know that? You get that? That's because Brother Hiles led in caring about the individual. All right. We're talking about ministry adjustments. Number one, know the difference between change and improvement. Identify it. Number two, change comes by doing nothing. The law of thermodynamics, everything naturally deteriorates. Number three, improvement comes on purpose. Choose what to do. In the scriptures, there's cause and effect. When you see the effect, dig until you find out what caused the effect. All right. Then 3 things that'll help you or hurt you: finances, faculty, facilities. If you're going to get improvement, you're going to have control of your finances, your facility, and your faculty. All right. Number 5, turn the steering wheel slowly. I still hear Brother House. We're walking down the hall in the motel, just had breakfast, and I was talking to him about something. He said, we like to slowly turn the steering wheel. Don't jerk the steering wheel. I can still hear him saying that. And don't jerk the steering wheel. Slowly make your changes. All right. So ministry adjustments, know the difference between change and improvement. Change comes by doing nothing. The law of thermodynamics, leave it alone and it'll die on its own. You can't leave it alone. Number 3, improvement comes on purpose. Choose what catalyst works, what causes the effect, and then learn from success. Brother House told us to have older pastors. Now I am the older one, preacher. But I learned from Dr. Lee Robertson. I learned from Brother Hiles. I learned from Tom Malone. I learned from Curtis Hudson. I learned from these great men of God. So finances, faculty, facilities. You've got to figure out what causes the improvement. All right, turn the steering wheel slowly make adjustments. Next, brainstorm with leaders. Oh, this is so important. Get into a room and get your leaders together and brainstorm. they'll come up with ideas. You'll go, wow, that was a great idea. And then they'll look at your ideas and say, Pastor, that won't work. So that happens every once in a while. But brainstorm with leaders. Number 7, stir the baptismal waters every Sunday. Stir the baptismal waters weekly. I cannot begin to tell you how important that is. You want to get God's attention? One sinner that repents. Oh, yeah. Rejoice in the present age. The angels aren't rejoicing. God the Father is, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. I'm just telling you. You're looking for a way to make adjustments, improvement, right? Not change, but improvement. Every time somebody I'll preach and they'll say, I'll pray the prayer, Lord, change us. I cringe when they say that. No, improve us. So stir the baptismal waters every Sunday, every week of the world. I'll tell you how to do it, Pastor. You do it. You have give the gospel out 15 times in one 7-day period. And by Saturday night, have 5 of your converts lined up to come with you on Sunday morning. On an average, 2 will come and 1 will get baptized. You do that every week of the world. And let me tell you something. If it's not happening, look in the mirror and get mad at yourself. Don't get mad at your people. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're the pastor. You're supposed to have the lead on them. You're supposed to be going the second mile. And so you want to stir those baptismal waters every week. And figure, I learned from myself. I learned that if I gave the gospel out 15 times, I could have 5 lined. Now, I'm not saying all 15 get saved, but I give the gospel out from A to Z. Then by Saturday night, I've got 5 lined up who said, Pastor, I'll come tomorrow. 3 of them won't come on an average. 2 will come, and 1 of them will get in the baptistry. I stir it every week. Every Lord's Day, we had people saved, professions of faith, and baptized. I'm telling you, it got God's attention. And people came to us from all over the country. They wanted to be a part of what was going on. And it was exciting, just super exciting. Oh, sometimes I think about the Sundays. And by the way, Brother House taught us, he said, don't recognize what you have. Don't wait till it's over and look back and say, boy, I didn't realize what I had. No. You thank God for what you have. Our Sunday night services were electrifying because we'd had so many people saved and baptized. And I had to cut the baptismal thing down on Sunday morning to where we baptized the first 2 and then dismiss everybody so they go. I learned that from Brother Hiles. And because the baptism went on and on, I preach average. You can look it up on 25, 30 minutes. That's all. Because I had all this invitation time that was going to come. And so thank God for it. And thank God we had people. But the baptisms we didn't get out till 1:05, 1:10 sometimes on Sunday morning, even though I quit preaching at 12:25 or 12:30, no later than 12:30. And we baptized the first 2. If you wanted to stay for all the baptisms, you certainly could. But my goodness, we had a lot of people saved. But it was electrifying. And I knew what I had. I knew what I had. It's not a matter of me looking back and saying I didn't know what I had. No, I knew what I had. And God was good to us. But you've got to stir those waters every week. All right, ministry adjustments. Let's back up, see if you've learned it. We'll give you a quiz now. Number 1, know the difference between change and improvement. Number 2, change comes by doing nothing. Don't do anything, it'll die on you. Get new choir members, get new bus drivers, get new bus workers, get new bus captains. I'm just telling you, that's the way it has to be. Get new orchestra members and so on. Improvement comes on purpose. Figure out what causes the result, the effect, and go back and figure out the cause and do it. All right. Finances, faculty, facilities will make or break you. Finances, faculty, or facilities will make or break you. Keep an eye on them. It's like a smoke alarm. Number 5, turn the steering wheel slowly. Don't jerk the steering wheel when you see adjustments have to be made. Brainstorm with leaders. Let them come up with this is not a solo. This is a team effort. It's going to take all of you working together, and they've got great ideas. And by the way, if you turn to them and say, well, I'm going to put you in charge of that, they'd be glad to because it was their idea. They'd be glad to do it. They're not going to complain about it. Now, brainstorm with leaders. Then the last part, stir the baptismal waters weekly. Every week of the world, you stir those baptisms. Get God's attention. If you'll get God's attention, God will lead you. The Holy Spirit will guide you into what needs to be done as far as improvements are concerned. Dr. Lee Robertson said the last time he was with me, he said to me, I said, any advice? Yes. He said, do something to the outside of your building that people can see. Do something major once a year. When they drive by, they'll see activity. And when they see activity, they're tempted to come see what's causing it. And he was right. He was right. That's just one thing. But that was his idea. Well, if I hadn't asked him, I wouldn't have got it. Well, your people, your team members, your leaders have got great ideas too. Get them to where you brainstorm and come up with these ideas. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of Ministry Moments. Go to Ministry Moments YouTube and subscribe. That way you'll get it every Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time. And then also go to solvechurchproblems.com and subscribe there. There's a lot of material there. There'll be ministry ideas, everyday quotes, a lot of things that'll be of help to you. So you check it out. Saturday soul winning. Now you make sure you get the gospel out, get people saved, and get them lined up for Sunday. And give the gospel out this week 15 times and see if you don't have 5 lined up for Sunday morning. You got to pick them up. They're not going to come on their own. They're babies. You have to pick them up and bring them. God bless you. Have a great weekend.